Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Online participants, can you listen to me? Are there any online participants? Is the audio good? Good. Okay, I think we can start. Okay, I'm Dr. Malik Herman, Deputy Director for E-Learning Unit from Center for Professional Development IIUM. Be your moderator for today's session. Bin Barakah for today's event. Let's start with the recitation of the Umul Kitab. Okay, so it is my pleasure to welcome everyone to our special webinar today. The webinar is going to be about, no, not a webinar, it's a workshop on interactive augmented reality, virtual reality simulations for experiential learning. So it's going to be presented by Mr. Nazreen Abdullasim. Okay, so this is a little bit of professional summary of Mr. Nazreen. He is a lecturer in interactive media at the Faculty of Information and Communication Technology, University Technical Malaysia Melaka, specialized in game development, XR technology, and audio production, consultant for several tech companies and government agencies regarding XR technology, won several athletes for research and innovation development, published research articles, journals, and authored several books about game technology, speaker for several conferences and tech talk at universities and at national level. This is his educational background. He is currently completing his PhD in computer science for real-time graphic from at University Technical Melaka. And he has a master in software engineering from University Technology Malaysia. He's a Microsoft certified application developer from IIUM in 2008. He earned his Bachelor of Information from IIUM, so he is our alumni. Okay. So his areas of expertise is extended reality development, VR, AR, mixed reality, virtual production, game technology and game development, for real-time graphic simulation, crowd simulation, audio and music production, recognition and awards. These are some of the recognitions. UTeM 2017 won Gold Award, IH Interactive Hologram, ITEX 2018 Bronze Award for Interactive Hologram for Ophthalmology, Parisa 2020 Silver Award for Tele IVR Cross-Platform Full Body Immersion Teleconference Virtual Reality, Jejak Innovasi 2022 Gold Award for VR Tawaf with hybrid crowd simulation, Jejak Innovasi 2023 Silver Award for determining Qibla methodology VR training. These are some of his experience. He's an experienced web developer, programmer, researcher, lead game programmer, associate studio engineer, associate consultant. Without further ado, I would like to call Mr. Nazreen to deliver his talk.
Slide. right? Opportunity uh, to implement this technology to other and working as an entertainment industry for education. In fact, for me, I use it a lot for simulation training, namely for um, TLDM, the very recent numbers of years working with, not directly with TLDM, but the company is actually consulting with TLDM, doing this training for anak kapal. And then they want to train with how to handle the ships, the warships, and normal ships. So they come to the conclusion that if they want to develop a full scale training for warship, it's very expensive. And back then, I think the cost.
Assalamualaikum. I'm sorry to disturb, but I'm online, so I cannot hear your voice clearly. It sounds so far away.
So, share. Okay. I think this. Okay, testing. Okay. Maybe can the volume down a little bit. Okay. So hopefully everybody able to listen. Oh, okay. See, or maybe I can sense like this. Okay, so everybody clear? Cool. Okay, so Assalamualaikum. So back to the sharing session. My point here is that the game technology itself, instead of doing it for entertainment purposes, for gaming, entertainment, what game and all those things, actually the game technology, not the game development, game technology itself, offer a lot of opportunity to be implemented for other applications as well, right? So one of the key technology that I want to share for today is what we call as virtual reality, augmented reality. So before we even want to jump into that, I would like to share the fundamental understanding of what is exactly AI, what exactly VR, and then all this can actually look to some what experts say as a spectrum, and then understanding the spectrum able for us to understand the features that this technology can offer that maybe we can think of what the application that we can apply afterwards, right? So, um, okay, so currently instead of teaching, I also do consulting for some companies like the one that doing with the LDS and work very closely with Dr. Mufti Melaka. We have this one exhibition center uh, Al-Falaq Al-Khwarizmi sama kat Melaka. So I invite you to come to that place because that exhibition actually equipped with a lot of extended reality technology that you can experience. In fact, the very idea, the very foundation of Mustafa Al-Khwarizmi is based on experiential learning. So they consult us as an expert in interactive media technology. So we try to curate the kind of like storyline of how Falak knowledge, how this Islamic astrology and stuff, things like that, goes about in the histories, how it applies to our everyday life as a Muslim and whatnot. So I think it's very good example if you really want to experience what we call as experiential learning, Al-Hawarizmi Center. Okay, and then before I jump into game development, I go for web programming as well. And then I'm still doing some engineering right now. It's my passion. Okay, and of course I do a lot of okay, okay, I do still am doing game programming. And then the game programming that we have today is not something that like quite technical like 10 years, 15 years back. For me, from my opinion, I think game technology becoming more open, more accessible for many type of people, teachers, for even for kids. Right now, this day we can learn game development by using Scratch, as simple as Scratch, drag and drop, and then we get our some simple games and whatnot. And this goes on to extended reality technology as well, like for AR, for VR. Last time, if you want to develop VR, you want to develop AR, you need to understand C++, you need to understand OpenGL, you need to understand certain extent of game engine like Unity, Unreal, Godot, all those things. But although that is still important, but my point here that if you want to jump to this kind of technology, there are other application, and I think it's very good for introductory lah. So that's why maybe if for us, for those who don't have any background in programming, it's quite intimidating to jump into this kind of software like Unity and Unreal. You need to learn C++ lah, all that mambo jambo and whatnot. It's very difficult. But the one that I want to introduce today, I don't know if you heard about this software or application. It is called Maker. Okay, Maker. Maker. Okay, and I will going to go through with you from the installation part until publishing the content lah. Because the process of doing that is very straightforward and I think it's quite inviting. Okay, inviting for us to moving forward with more complex and more technical things with extended reality application. Right. So again, my research areas including game technology, approximation, real-time collision detection, and of course, I'm doing a lot, going to many agencies inside and out, giving technical teaching about extended reality stuff. So, Alhamdulillah, thank you IIUM for inviting me to share a little bit of knowledge on extended reality. Of course, talk about extended reality in, I think, given time, 9 to 1 o'clock is, I think it's quite short. But I think we can make do this very short time to at least understand the fundamental, to at least understand the workflow. Then we can try to create something that be able to identify the limitation of something that we're using today, then maybe we want to go forward of something more complex like Unity and upgrade. So I think Marka itself is very good introductory for us to understand what is actually extended reality. Okay, good. So this is about my work. Okay, so we're going to, I try to divide for today session into 4 modules. Okay, so a little bit of foundation, a little bit of not theory, let's say sharing session, what exactly extended reality technology is, and maybe we're going to identify the features. So AI is able to do this, so we are able to do this, and I want to introduce you another thing, what we call as MR, mixed reality, something that I think growing this day. last time mixed reality is very not accessible because of the technologies are very expensive. Okay, the easiest way to jump into mixed reality last time is by having this headset, what we call as a Microsoft HoloLens. Okay, Microsoft HoloLens 1 and 2, which costs you around 16, 20,000 ringgit, something like that. So it's not really accessible to for advanced lah. Until what we have today, Oculus Quest, what we have in front. Okay, this is actually a VR headset. Originally VR headset. This is the third iteration from the perspective of developer. This is the fifth iteration of Oculus. So this iteration of software of headset, they incorporate with what we call as a mixed reality. That's why we have this sensing from that. But then I'm going to maybe demo you a little bit at the end of the show. Inshallah. Okay, so then second module, I'm going to introduce augmented reality, because this augmented reality this day is I think it's very acceptable, and I think everybody got their mobile phone, and then this augmented reality actually can be applied straight away, okay, by using our handphone, and then by developing it from our PCs lah. And everything is run in cloud. That is the good thing about using one card. Okay, so if you talk about other application such as Unity and Unreal, or whenever we try to create a content, AR content, we need to publish, we need to package and whatnot. That process itself going to take hours. So by using Maka, everything running in cloud, and then you can straight away, as long as you have the internet connected with you, so you can actually access those contents straight away. It's a good thing about it. And then, of course, into the augmented reality got two types. First is marker based. I'm going to share you what is marker based. And then later on, we're going to move toward what is called as markerless. Okay, markerless. And when we able to differentiate these two type of augmented reality, we able to see the features. It's not saying that this is better than this is better than that. It is actually a matter of our strategy of what kind of AR that we want to implement. Because this type of AR has certain features, this type of AR has certain features that maybe we can exploit, and then can make use for our application, for our experiential learning experience maybe. Right? And last but not least is the virtual reality itself. I might not be using this, but I just want to show you that virtual reality itself, types of virtual reality. This is from my experience that some of the agencies ataupun some of the companies, they would like to introduce this kind of VR, where you slip in your handphone and whatnot, and you're going to get some sort like virtual reality experience. It's okay, but actually it's not really full VR. But to get started of what is VR, I think that is the introductory that we can start with. But the real VR is actually based something like this. Okay, and I'm going to explain why this is different with this one in our experience itself. How it opens up the world, how it's open the immersion itself to make use for experiential learning. Okay, so that one will be the last part. Okay, so inshallah, I will explain a little bit about, I think like 50 minutes or 15 minutes of what exactly this extended reality. Why is it really related to game development? Why people talk about XR, people talk about VR, you're going to associate those with game technology, game development, right? Okay. And so when we talk about game development, Okay, when we talk about game development, actually the main core objective of game development is actually to explain this entertainment. You want to play some games and then you want to immerse yourself inside. And then when talk about game, always bound to winning and losing. Okay? And then you got your sprint and you try to achieve certain objective. You achieve that objective, you win. You don't achieve that objective, you lose. It's very core mechanic of game development. And then people want to experience something more. Previously, they experienced game in front of the screen. They experienced game with joystick and whatnot. So people want more. So then has it come with this demand, come with this people want to experience other than screen. So they introduce this AR, augmented reality. Then later on, they want something more. They introduce something what called as virtual reality. Then they want to go back to the reality. So they try to embed virtual reality with augmented reality. Then they have this mixed reality. So all this thing actually, from my point of view, is actually driven by gaming industry. Okay, the very core of if you know this company called Nvidia, right? Nvidia. Everybody knows Nvidia, at least today, as a company that is responsible for the growth of AI, Gen AI, ML, machine learning, and whatnot. But the history of Nvidia is actually driven by game technology. NVIDIA itself, the core technology behind is creating a graphic card, create for uh, games, for creating immersion, realistic graphics. Then they introduce GPU, general processing GPU unit. They introduce this physics GPU inside the graphic cards. Hence, people use those GPU for the purpose of machine learning and stuff. Hence, we have what we call as NVIDIA pursuing for Gen AI technology in general, right? So, when I talk about game development process, it's very pretty similar to other processes as well for engineering, concept, design, development, and publishing. Okay, so this is popular games. Okay, I believe many of us knows about Super Mario's. Okay, so this why I brought this thing up because this kind of game actually pushes game technology to the next level. Okay, this kind of game because what they have back then is very limited resources. Yet they want to make a game at the time. So because of the demand, because of uh, the audience becomes rich and whatnot. Okay, so the technology moving along with the demand. Okay, and then we have something like Legend of Zelda, by using very small devices. If anybody have experience playing this Legend of Zelda, the Legend of Zelda itself not just about game, but they really want to showcase that they're able to create a very large world. I think the punya besar of that world is comparable to negeri Pahang. Okay, it's like the map of the game is like negeri Pahang. Okay, but they're able to put everything in one small gaming console. So it's a technology breakthrough there. So that is one thing that game technology pushes the gaming industry. Okay, gaming industry pushes the game technology. Okay, via Minecraft and whatnot. Okay, so what is game technology? Okay, game technology refers to tools, software, hardware, techniques, okay, in creating the content for game development. Okay, so when we talk about game technology, usually we're going to relate with the engines and the frameworks. These very same frameworks is actually the one that we're going to use today to create our experiential learning content for extended reality. That's why. So it's actually the originate of these technologies come from game technology. Right? Okay. So when we talk about game technology, it covers all these things. Okay, graphic technology, this is my area. Okay, and audio technology, we talk about hardware, okay, like NVIDIA and stuff, console, and even the networking system, the discussion of game technology in networking system is quite big as well, right? Talk about game engine. There's many iteration of game engine these days, including the markup that we want to use today. We can consider markup as a very simple game engine as well. And because of game technology itself, it pushes this what we call as programming languages to the next level. Okay, the programming paradigm and whatnot. Okay, so that is what we discuss in game technology. Okay, so when I talk about game development, usually we talk about uh, the output, right? So today we can think of that we want to create augmented reality, virtual reality application. So if we notice from this diagram, we can notice that each of these applications, okay, is actually having the same framework, having the same workflow. Okay, so if you want to create games, you need to understand how to do 3D modeling. You need to understand how to do a little bit of music maybe, and then sprites and a little bit of video footages. And then you need to have some sort of logic control, programming thingies, minor and whatnot. Okay, then you're able to create games. What if you want to create AR? Still the same thing. Okay, you need to go through the same process and whatnot. So my point here is actually all this process actually come from game technology, in game technology processes, game development processes. So if we able to understand things that we want to create today, it's actually open up to other applications as well. Okay? If we want to create VR after this, we want to create AR after this, then we're going to have a very, I think, a very strong foundation to create a game. Right? So usually, when I want to teach people about extended reality or AR and whatnot, usually I start with simple game development because game development going to cover a lot of this logic, asset development and whatnot. Once you understand that, actually you're going to open up to create this all these other applications. And even these days, if you want to talk about metaverses, heard about metaverses? Same thing. The process is similar as well. But when we talk about metaverses, of course, we're going to talk about NFTs. We're going to talk about blockchain and whatnot. Just that little bit of additional from this. But again, the point here is the process is still pretty much the same, right? So hopefully today, introduction of extended reality, hopefully we don't stop there. Okay, so we're going to use the opportunity to explore some others by your own using YouTube and whatnot, or we can invite me to eat. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, I think pretty much we understand about how is the technology open to others application. Okay, me personally, I use this workflow to create a lot of simulation and trading. At least from my experience, to go through this route of entertainment is very competitive because we actually fighting with or competing with companies like Capcom, companies, these big name companies really big title for games, right? Although they actually reside in Malaysia right now, the industry is growing, but the money also come from this. I can say from simulation and training and extended ability, speaking from my experience. So by using the same technology, it opened to other opportunities for simulation, standardity, and one that I work very close with Hospital Malacca, Department of Ophthalmology. We create hologram for this eyeball or something. So instead of explaining to makcik, buka, this is cornea and whatnot. So we use this hologram. Makcik, this is cornea. Oh, that's quite cool. So makcik pun open the eyes, very big, and suddenly get interested with the both eyes. You know. Okay, so this is pretty much some of the example of game technology or other application other than it, right? And then again, one thing that I want to share with you, how movie making is moving forward. Moving forward is by using game technology instead. We call it as a virtual production, and then we also have some discussion with people from CPD and Astro. They want to migrating the process of doing the production with virtual production. Okay, why virtual production is very big deal? Okay, I'll give you one scenario. Uh, Last time, if you want to do this movie making, we shoot and we do this visual effects afterward, and we render everything. That process alone maybe going to take about like 3 to 4 months, right? But by using this gig technology for virtual production, it able to cut the production time to real time. How crazy is that, right? So last time, if you want to produce something, maybe you need to render. If anybody have experience doing production before, even for music and whatnot, going to take some time to produce that, right? But since the game technology evolved very fast, by having this NVIDIA technology, everything can run in real time, so as well as virtual production, movie production and whatnot. So I give you one example, one use case. This is very nerdy, like Star Wars, right? Star Wars, Mandalorian. If you heard about Mandalorian, whatnot. Usually, if they want to create this one scene, it's going to take about maybe 1 month, and then one day maybe they're going to cost about $200,000, something like that. Okay, so due to the game technology becoming very fast and very advanced, so the production times becoming 1 to 2 days or even in real time. So they can cut that cost to essential amount of time, right? So the same virtual production we actually apply to engineering. Okay, I give you some examples for ergonomic study. Okay, so we use that same technology for movie making, but we use it for ergonomic study. So we use that bulat, whatnot, if you see the movie and whatnot. So instead of putting the 3D character, so we analyze back how these people posture works or all these things, repurpose virtual production for economic study. So that's one thing. So we can do game technology as a tool, as a medium, to have access to all this crazy stuff, I can say, that last time, like 5 years, 10 years back, going to cost like millions or something. Right? So game technology today becoming more accessible and cheap. Okay, so we're going to jump. Okay, ini some contoh of game. Okay, we're going to jump to straight away to extended reality before we go to makan. Okay, we talk about virtual reality. We talk about augmented reality. So anybody can give me one example, real example of augmented reality that you have experienced before. Any type of I'm expecting this one here. Yes, any type of game, any type title of game that we can think of. I might not know that game, but or that application, but I expecting this one type of game, title of game. That's actually, huh? You very much. She already answered it. BBC 77 out 37 is so that's talking about sort of augmented, yeah, I agree, yeah, I agree. But what Pokemon does is it bring augmented reality to the masses, and it bring this another type of augmented reality that I mentioned earlier. One is marker, and another one is markerless. Markerless is the one that popularized by, I can say, Pokemon Go lah. Yeah, last time for if you talk about augmented, what is that? Nobody's understand. Nobody want to take interest on that. So, believing augmented reality itself got some features that may be applicable to this kind of application, and maybe for markerless or marker, maybe suitable for others type of application. So understanding that enable us to design the concept afterward, right? So we talk about XR. Okay, when we talk about kita terus pergi sini. Okay, okay. When we talk about VR, AR, and MR, all these things actually consist of as a spectrum of extended reality. A spectrum of extended reality consists of VR, AR, and MR. Okay, VR, the easiest way to put is whenever we able to immerse ourselves fully to the virtual environment. Okay, fully masuk dalam tu. Okay, masuk dalam alam void tu. So itu we call it as a virtual reality. Okay, when we talk about AR, okay, AR is actually an overlay of information. Okay, for example, you have phone, you have camera, and then something overlay from that visual. That is simply AR. Okay, so you can see many examples other than Pokemon Go. Actually, you can go to Google Map, okay? Google Street, that also considered as augmented reality. So, what exactly is mixed reality? Okay, so this is what we usually confuse with AR. For up until this year, so many people actually confuse with AR and MR. They think the same. Technically, it is not, alright? But maybe the punya nama is actually resembling similar features. But MR, if I want to put simple word is the virtual object. Okay, the virtual object from virtual world can react with our environment. That's it. That's it. Okay. So for example, we can imagine this as a 3D. 3D. If this is AR, I put this 3D object in front. From your perspective, it's always going to be in front of your eyes. If I want to put everything, even if I want to put my hand in front, it's still going to appear in front of the screen. So it is just an overlay of visualization. They are good. They are placed actually. If you want to put additional information, if you want to portray some depth of information, AR is the thing. But if you want to put some interaction of this 3D object with the world, we need to understand its reality. Right? So, what is the scenario? Okay, last time we worked with this CPRM, company yang buat kapal terbang ni. So they want us to create something. For example, they want to train their engineers how to assemble the product. If they want to use AR, they cannot really achieve that because whenever they try to pick up the 3D object, whenever they want to put behind the turbine, behind whatever object, cannot react because it's always going to be in front. So we need to understand this MR. So MR actually open up another dimension. How MR able to do that? That's why when we talk about MR, usually the key component of MR, you need to have some sort like what we call as a depth sensor. Depth sensor by using infrared, by using ultrasound, something depend on the architecture lah. So these three cameras, it's not just a camera, but in the measurement of space. This measurement of space, they're able to know the depth of this area. So they're going to relatively create the virtual world mimicking the real world. Hence, they have how should I say, impression of that thing actually reacting with your our reality lah. Okay, so I don't want to complex you guys with this terminology, but I just want to say that VR, AR, and MR actually have the distinction. Okay, so but today we pretty much going to cover a lot of VR, and then maybe we're going to move a little bit on VR because VR itself has some other type as well, and not everybody has this kind of headset to experience full VR. So we're going to might say like partial VR lah. Okay, good. So Pokemon Go is one of it. Okay. If you can see this one, VR. Okay, this is another example of mixed reality. The 3D content actually, reside in your space, and our hand actually reacting or interacting with the object. Okay, that is VR. So this guy, they immerse themselves inside, play this kind of content. So it's totally inside the world. So this one is VR, this one is MR, and then this one is AR. So you can see that 3D content is actually just overlaid with the visualization. So this is AR, MR, and VR. Totally immersed. MR is in between, where the 3D object able to interact with our physical world, and AR is simply an overlay of visualization. Cool. Right. Any question before we jump into the main part of our session? Right. So a little bit, as I said previously, XR is actually an opportunity, right? So it's not just a mere tools to gimmick. Of course, it's a gimmick last time, but if we understand the features, if you understand what exactly AR, MR, and VR can actually bring forward, you can actually use this thing for customer engagement, okay, for interactive approach. And believe me, a lot of other companies using AR actually to enhance their sales, right? It's still a gimmick, but it works, right? And then they want to create brand awareness. Example of brand awareness. Anybody?
This is clarity. When you do brand experiential, and that one is the whole career. Your students read through the experience. Where is that?
Hologram.
Hologram one thing.
Walkthrough.
Walkthrough.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So good. Okay, hologram is actually a very conceptual word. It's not really, realized fully yet. If we want to see the most ideal hologram, is like in the film, like Iron Man, right? So this character going to appear in front of us. So we're going to have very physical light spectrum and whatnot. So that is the most ideal of what we call as a hologram. But what exactly available these days is actually they will still have certain medium project that content lah, as if we look posting as a hologram. Okay, like the one that I paid for tomology, hospital record. So actually we have a bunch of glasses. So the projector going to project that 3D in four sides. So the user or the pakcik-pakcik going to have the impression of actually the things floating in front. Okay, that is for hologram lah. So although some of our colleagues actually working with smokes as a medium. Okay, smokes, fog. Okay, they have this fog and they have the workflow or the idea is pretty much the same. They have the fog as a medium instead of glass. So they try to project this thing. So it's still working. From my opinion, it's not really there yet, but the concept is that it is for hologram. For walkthrough, okay, for walkthrough is actually there are two things you can look at as a walkthrough. Okay, walkthrough, one thing that you can create fully 3D virtual world. Okay, for example, this class, you want to have walkthrough. Walkthrough usually don't have a depth of interaction. Usually the idea of walkthrough is you want to give impression of the user the space of that area. Usually walkthrough really work with this kind of architecture industry. Okay, and another perumahan housing tu lah semua tu kan. It's a big money actually. Okay, and then to create those things last time, you need to understand Blender, you need to understand 3D. But this time around, you can actually create a walkthrough by having very cheap 360 camera, and then open source software to map that 360 into several compartments, I can say. Then you can have the impression of as if you inside those things. So for me, 360 walkthroughs not really give you the idea of relative size, but maybe for small project you can. But if you really want to have a very precise relative size and whatnot, we use 3D scanner. Okay, 3D scanner like in iPad Pro. And if anybody got iPad Pro, yang ada 3 camera though. Okay, that is the cheapest way to get yourself into 3D scanner. And then to publish those back into 3D gaming it very easy to say. Last time you need to understand point cloud, lot of things to do. So hope understand answer the question. So 360 itself, you can access it through 360 camera and 3D scanner. Yeah. And then this two things you can get around like 2,000 ringgit, you can access this kind of technology. Right? Good. Okay. So okay, so we're going to start with augmented reality. Okay, with using markup. Okay, so I'm going to explain along by using this markup, and then going to explain as well what is augmented reality inside markup. Okay, good. So that forward. Anybody already installed markup before? This is the first time? No problem, no problem. It is intended to do be like that. Okay. So markup is actually a proprietary software. I believe it's from Taiwan or something. And I've used many software before, and I can come to one conclusion that ini ada affiliate link atau tak ada apa-apa. Cuma I can say This is my humble opinion. I think Marka is a very good starting point for us to get with extended reality application. Alright. So first thing first, we need to install two things actually. So you can open up your browser. Okay. Yeah, of course, if you have any question, discussion, sharing session, please just let me know. Okay. Share. Okay. Uh, okay, type MAGAR. Okay. This marker ER.com. Okay. Share. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay, so you can open up your browser, try to look for Makar, MAKAR, okay, and then so you're going to have this app screen. Okay, so of course for first timer, I suggest you to download the thing. Download. Okay, I think the file size is not that big. You can start straight away install those things. Okay, so while we installing that, I want all of us to open up their phones, either it is iOS or Android. You can open up the store. Okay. Try to look for marker as well. Marker. Okay, I repeat myself. Okay, we need to install two things. First, we need to install marker in your PC. Okay, on your PC. Okay, the marker on PC is actually the editor. Okay, so if you want to create content, okay, we have to create the content from your PC. Hence the software marker. So you need to install the marker. And then the phone, the marker for phone is actually experience the content. Alright? So as for now, we can experience marker content for AR and for VR. Right? VR. MAKAR. MAKAR. Yes. Yeah, download. And then I believe the one, the version that they having right now, we can usually use our Google credential, okay, or Gmail or something to have access to my account. Or you can use your own email. But me myself, personally, I use just Gmail. Okay, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. For those yang just join the online session, there are two things to install. First, you need to install Maka on your PC. Okay. And then while those things installing, you can open up your mobile phones, try to look for something similar, Maka as well, and try to install Maka on your phone as well. And then of course, to have access to Maka, you need to sign up, right? And the good thing about that sign up, you can use Google credential, okay, Gmail or something to sign in to Maka. Good. Okay. Once you've installed, you're going to get something like this. Okay. This Maka thingies. You can open up the things. Something like this. No problem. We're going to walk through. Yep. Okay. Okay. This is password. Admin password. Like this. Or tali satu. Okay. Any question, please? Yeah, you can actually. Yeah, it's just your preferences. Okay, for those who have already installed Maka on your phone, actually you can start experience some of the available content inside. Okay, there are pre-made content, there are some contents that been developed by the community. Okay, of course you can experience that. Just look for experience button inside. Browse some of the examples, right? Okay, for the installation in the next computers, we are actually is that supporting we say? Yeah, I think it's a very good things that you can install on your own PC because you can actually like continue developing those content later on, right? Developer through iPods for the I will say as a reason. Doesn't really have this HPAR, they have some other similar app like Marker, but from my experience, I think Marker, I think really good at putting everything together. VR there, AR there, and then you have geolocation AR as well inside. So it's one whole good package of creating XR content, and it's free. So I think like 3 years ago, when I started using Markup, they giving you the opportunity to publish up to 20 content But as time move on, I think that the user getting bigger and bigger. They limit the number of publication for XR content just for two. So mine already limited to two. But if Dr. Pompan got the opportunity to publish up to 20, so I think they're going to give you like up until 6 months. Okay, the good thing about publishing through or 20, how Marcus work is actually if you want to make your content available for the masses, you make yourself publish the content. So whenever you don't want that content anymore, it's not just delete, just unpublish it. Going to actually archive in your cloud. So it's a matter of strategizing what kind of content that you want to publish like at one moment, right? So mine is already limited to publication, right? So I think two also good enough actually for free.
Archive is based on considered.
Come again?
Let's say you archive,
Yeah.
so it's not considered as.
Yeah. 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 But the catch is they give you I think 500 megabytes, which is quite small. Right? So that's the business model of Bangla, I think. Right? So 500 to create quite big experientially, I think it's more than enough. It's a matter of what kind of 3D content that you put inside. So we don't put 1 gig of 3D content inside. So you need to, maybe if you want to download from outside, make sure the 3D content itself is quite small and compact. Of course, you can always subscribe to their plans and whatnot. But to learn extended reality application for starter, I think Market is very good selection. Right? If you really want a full blown free and you can own that thing without worrying about subscribing and whatnot, this is where we need to learn gaming something like Unity, something like Unreal Engine, and of course the most freest one, that is what? GODOT. Each hour, again, we call themselves Kodo. The silent P, I think. But myself personally, I'm an avid user of Unreal Engine. I've been using Unreal Engine since 2013. I've seen the engine growing. And bias, I was going to say Unreal Engine is the greatest game engine of all time. So, what I really look at game engine, if you ask me as a developer, I'm going to find an engine or a software that can create a prototype very fast. Okay, so without worrying about programming, of course you need programming for performance issues and whatnot. But if you want to deliver your concept, you want to deliver your ideas as fast as you can, for me, Unreal Engine is the tools lah. It's very powerful. And if you grasp the fundamental of Unreal Engine, actually it pretty much do a lot of things. So currently, the one that I'm developing right now is under research grant. We developing digital twin arm robotic. Okay, so the robotic hand. Okay, the robotic hand. How we control it? If you ask engineering person, we're going to use ROS, okay, robotic operating system. But actually, you can actually bypass that by using Unreal straight away. Okay, so using Unreal Engine, good thing about using Unreal Engine for me, my point of view, is that you can get very high fidelity of that graphics. You can get access to other plugins. You can get access to other libraries of C++, right? because Unreal Engine itself built from C++. So if you understand C++, you understand a little bit of Python, if a little bit of networking with C Sharp, you can pretty much do a lot of things with Unreal Engine. That's my personal opinion. Okay. Okay, so good, everybody. So once you install Makar, okay, we can actually log into the application, okay, by using your credential. I'm going to use Google. Okay, I'm going to use my Google TV. Use auto. Okay. Okay. Share that. Okay. So once you log in to this marker, okay, everybody, okay? Can we proceed? Sure. Right. So it's very simple, very straightforward. For those of you maybe have a little bit of or little experience using software like Adobe Photoshop lah, Blender lah, all these things is pretty much same, even simpler, right? Cool. So let me walk through with the main interface of this markup. Okay. Uh, if you notice here, got this new project. This is where we create project. Okay. This is where if you're going to have like your past project and whatnot from other devices, from your iPad or whatnot, okay, open from here. So the good thing about Maka, the project is actually saved or archived to cloud. Okay, they're going to give you a certain amount of space. This space, I think 500 megabytes or 50, I'm not sure. But the idea is if those things already exceeding the numbers of the bit given, you can always copy those things and save to your timeline and you upload back or not. If you want to continue using the free version, of course, right? So if you want to continue with the paid version, of course, the size is going to get bigger and whatnot. So depend on the how crucial we want to use the paid version or the free version model, right? Okay, so if you notice here, okay, let me. Okay, Or okay, seem that they not really fetch my previous work. It's okay, no problem. No. Okay, cool. So we're going to create our very first AR model. Okay, how to do that? So create this new project. Always going to start with new project, a new project, and okay. If you notice here, they got some templates or some pre-made project for us. So we're going to start fresh. Uh, if you notice here, we got augmented reality images, and then we're going to get this mixed reality, virtual reality, augmented reality hand, meaning that we're going to take our hand, okay, then extended reality. Okay, before we even try using this template, we need to understand these features. Okay, not all these features available at our phones, right? So when we talk about mixed reality, usually they available at the phone that have the depth sensor, like iPhone user, iPhone user, yeah, Pro, okay, yeah, Pro, that makes sense. Yeah. So you need to have that three camera and one up, then you get access of mixed reality. You can actually create, but the experience is not there. Okay, so next one is virtual reality. Again, when use virtual reality, what it needs from our phone is actually a gyroscope accelerometer. Okay, they be able to detect our rotation of our world. So that's why if our phone doesn't have that, it cannot translate that content very well. Okay, so like if I want to try this virtual reality content at my father's phone, because my father used very old phone. Okay, right? So again, in augmented reality, using this hand detection and whatnot. Okay, so you need a very fast phone, maybe with latest Snapdragon and whatnot. So if you have that, then you can try. So from my experience, by using augmented reality image, I think this is that available for everybody. So image means that as long your phone have some sort of camera, can detect image, right? So then we can project our content through that image. Cool. Alright, so kita tekan mentality and then write something, the project info, maybe my first or something. Okay, this project descriptions going to help people when they want to search for our content. It's like a meta tag or something. So we can say AR IUM or something. So as long people like if we have a very unique description for that project, and then we want people to access our project, definitely going to help them. So to you know um, to narrow down the searching. Okay, then this category, they are going to use this education. You can see the typo there. Okay, going to disable GPS for now. Okay, and then of course, we're going to make it public. So whenever we publish the content, so whoever know or be friend with our profile or something, they can access our content. So for example, if we have a bunch of students, okay, so make them install this marker and then make them follow our profile or something so they can access our content. So it's vice versa. So if you want to them to make their own content, so we need to access their profile as well. Okay. Ini okay. Okay. So selection, today, what's it? Share. Okay. If you notice, if you use augmented reality image, we need to have image reference. Okay. So what I have right now, maybe not able to give everybody. Okay. Let me show you something. Okay. So check. Okay, share. Actually, jadi boleh bagi kat orang jadi share. So I do this. So what we're going to do next is actually we need to have certain reference. Okay. So I written out several marker we can say. We're going to look for this image on Google after this. Okay, so we're going to put it as our reference. Okay, this hero and A. And then you can actually put whatever image that you can think of for your AR reference. Okay, so first thing first, go to Google. Okay, type hero, HIRO, marker. Hero marker. Okay. Hero marker. Okay, go to image. Hero. Okay, hero or hero. Hero is actually a professor that create AR toolkit, the open source version, back in 2001. A Professor Hero from Japan. So Professor Hero did very tremendous job that make AR available for the masses lah. So me personally, I would like to use this marker in in appreciation of Professor Hero's works lah, which is AR toolkit, and some of the works are actually embedded in Maka. Right? So go to hero and then right click and save image as simple as that. Okay. And then we try to save somewhere desktop maybe. Okay. Okay. Hero marker. Okay, good. Stay around. Okay. Hero marker is red. Okay. Okay, install download those things first. Okay, make sure the file is somewhere in your desktop or something. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, once you downloaded those things, put it somewhere on desktop that you can easily access. Okay, go back to our markup and then try to look for this project type setting. And we see somewhere here, choose target. Okay. Okay. Click add. And then try to add that image that we downloaded previously. Okay. Okay, dia boleh baca JPEG kan? Can only be JPEG. Other than that, cannot be. So make sure you download the JPEG version. Okay?
Yeah.
No problem. Any image that resembles hero? Okay. Hero marker. Go to image. I see. Okay. Oh, okay. The download mark Insert. It was using Apple. You can download Markup instead of download. You can install Markup from store. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. So for those of you who have already download hero marker, marker, or hero image or something. Okay. Make sure you download the JPEG version. Sorry, $80. Okay. So make sure you download the image supposed to be in JPEG version. So right click, save image. This one be perfect, right? Okay, let me check. Kalau saya pribadi tak usah. Oh ya ya betul. Yes. Okay, I already shared. Sorry, I did that we can share the files within our chat box. Okay, so you can say download the hero marker that I shared with you. And yeah. But for now, because I just want to make target concentrate and kalau kita gambar, what else gambar? Dia jangan terlihat dia gambar yang keluar dari situ. So usually this kind of thing is for practical ada masuk satu stage ya. Jadi ya. Apa model mungkin JPG itu sebelumnya taxation okay no problem okay now look at this okay add target. So I'm going to add that hero. The target is for what? Okay. Target for its focus. Okay. Sorry. So, like I said previously, I'm going to explain what we make this demonstration. As we can understand, in augmented reality, they have two types of augmented reality. Okay, the one that we just mentioned about Pokemon Go, right? Pokemon Go, the technology behind Pokemon Go is actually augmented reality using geolocation. Okay, they're using geolocation as the target, or the word is marker. Okay, why AR need marker? Okay, because AR technology they need some space or some reference point so that the 3D content can be overlaid on that reference. So that's why in augmented reality, and this is the most traditional way of doing augmented reality from Professor Hiro, they introduce this marker-based AR. So in order marker-based to work, you need to have marker, whatever reference. So the one that I'm giving to you is the most traditional marker that we use in augmented reality. Hero, Professor Hero, right? That's why I'm sharing you that marker. So long time ago, the marker can only work in monochrome, right? That's why I'm sharing with you this hitam putih black and white. That is the most traditional marker. Then when computer vision is getting more advanced, OpenCV is getting more advanced because they use OpenCV. It can use colored images. So that's why I don't want you guys to jump into colored images because we're going to notice some inaccuracy afterwards. Okay, because not many cameras have a very good megapixel and whatnot. Then maybe and the snapdragon is not that fast, so we have difficulties on identifying that picture. So the most easiest way to create a marker is using black and white. So if you notice, for those of you people who create interactive book, right? Interactive book, if they want to have some 3D animation on top of their books, then you can notice they have small QR code. That QR code still being used because QR code is the best way to identify as a marker. Instead, of course, you can use the whole picture of that page. You can, no problem. But again, not many people have the access of having a good camera. That's why if you use black and white as a marker, it's more efficient, it's more effective. That's my opinion, and it's from my experience. Of course, after this, we can try other pictures, but again, I don't think colored marker. And of course, you can always use your own screen as marker. So just want to get the understanding of AR markers, right? Cool. Okay, once we created that, create confirm, click confirm. Okay, okay. So everybody inside here? Okay. Once we go inside here, it's in a 3D realm. Okay. So for those of you who have an experience using Blender, 3D Max, Maya, and whatnot, so you're in a good hand. But for those of you who doesn't have any experience using any 3D software, no problem. I'm going to walk through how to go through this 3D environment or 3D editor. Good. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So you can see from here, you can always use your mouse. Okay, no problem. You can use your scroll as a zoom mechanic. Okay, a zoom mechanic. Okay, then you can use your right button. Okay, hold your right button to navigate, to fly through to this 3D environment. Okay, okay, okay. Believe me, if you able to understand this, is you're one step forward on using Blender. Okay, it's Blender 3, not that Blender 1. Okay. Okay, how to find images? Sorry, I just keep this thing. Okay, so once you uploaded the file, the one I given to you earlier, you can go try to look for resource and then module and then try to look for image target. Good. Yeah, me actually I don't want to share yet, but no problem. Okay, so try to look for image target. Okay, you can drag image target straight away to the seed. Cuba dulu. Sorry. Just drag. Okay. Okay, you can imagine the one that you grab, this hero is representing the paper. Representing the paper. Okay, if you have this one printed, okay, that is, you can imagine this as the paper. This one. So the idea is the very simplest form of AR. Whenever the camera detect the image, it's going to overlay whatever object on top of the scene. So first thing first, we have to make sure the marker, this is what we call as marker. In marker language, they call it a target head. In computer science or in OpenCV, we call this thing as a marker. So make sure you put this marker inside your editor first. That is the first step. Okay. So how to do that? Try to look for image target. Going to have certain uh, target or marker, then drag inside. Okay, that is the first step. Good. Okay. So first, next thing, second. Everybody okay? Okay. Good. So go to resource. Okay. Try to go to resource. Source. Okay. Okay. What is resource? Resource is actually 3D asset, 2D asset, whatever asset, sound, whatnot, been given by markup as a starting point, of course. So after this, if you want to use your own 3D, you can probably develop using Blender or you can download from the internet or whatnot. But for us to practice right now, we can use whatever been given right now. So you can go to resource and then double click on default and then try to look for 3D. Okay. So try to insert anything. So I want to put some cube here. So I'm going to put the cube on top of the cube. Yeah, right. Similar like we drag the marker inside. Good. Right. Okay. Images. Or images. Okay, go back to the resource. Okay. Okay, go to the default. Okay. Then you're going to have two options here, 2D and 3D. So we want to use 3D. Okay, 3D. Yeah, 3D. And then try to use whatever given here. I'm going to use cube. Okay, you can drag this cube inside the drag. Okay, how to drag? Left click, hold the left click button, and then drag inside your space. So right now I'm having two cubes. But you can put more than one cube. Okay, try. Okay, this. So while holding this in, okay, yes. But this is the example. Okay. So because you can put some others as well. Okay, put here. Okay. So next, how to work with the 3D object. So if you notice, once you get a 3D object, you can actually resize, you can actually move the 3D objects here and there or whatnot. So how to do that? Okay, once you click the or select the object, you can see this how should I say this one? This arrow axis, oh yeah, thank you, axis. Uh, this arrow, okay, you can always move the object by holding the arrow button. Okay, if you want to move a little bit here, a bit there, okay. And then what if you want to rotate those things? Okay, you notice here this rotation. You click this rotation. The same thing, you can hold this. Okay, and then of course you want to resize those things. Okay, you can see this scale button. Okay, click the scale button. Okay, and make it taller, kurus, okay, smaller, or whatnot. Okay, so in 3D we call this thing as a transformation. Transformation tools. Okay, translation transformation tools. Okay, this is for move, rotation, and scale. So you can practice apply to other objects as well. Okay. Yes. Hold on, step dulu. Again, some of us ask me whether we can use multiple marker or not. We can actually, but the idea for this one, we want to work with one first. Why we want to work with one first? Later on, we need to stumble with this problem that if we have two images at one screen or one camera, the mobile phone usually tends to having some problem on which one they want to appear first. So usually, as a designer or AR designer, usually we're going to stick with one. As if we want to create, for example, like interactive books, right? So we want to create some interactive books that the children going to flip this book, this particular page, and when the camera is focusing on that page, they're going to play some animation. That animation that cannot be played previously with just having a book, right? So that's what they use this kind of technique to to make the animation visible while they're reading, like about lecture, blah, 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 and then suddenly they have this shapes jumping and whatnot, so making the reading experience more experiential learning. Oh, so okay, cool. All right, so okay, so once you arrange in this manner, we're going to understand that this object going to appear relatively to the marker itself. If I put something like this, you can expect from the camera, this object going to be somewhere here, this project going to be somewhere here, this project going to be somewhere here. Understand? So that's why marker base is really depending on the marker or the target, right? So that's why if we understand this, then we can pretty much put this in a, suitable application like reading books and whatnot, signage. Uh, uh, yeah, usually that those two application lah. Right. Okay. So okay. So once you agree with that, okay, let me check. Okay, okay. The object is in gray color, not really interesting. So you can always put some colors. Okay, how to do that? So click one of the object and try to look for metal resources. Okay, metal resources. In 3D, we don't call it as a color. We call it as a material. Why material? Or texture. If we have, for example, this cube, if we have this cube, saying this is a brown color does not do the justice. In 3D, we call it as a material. Why? Because this is a brown color with boxy material. When we say boxy material, if we have some lightings, it should not reflect, it should not do some specular reflection or something like that. So that's why when we talk about 3D, usually we associate with material. So if I want to make this thing as a metal, so I'm going to say metal material. So whenever people see this thing, they're going to have the impression that this looks like a metal, right? Makes sense. So color is not really justice in 3D. Okay, same goes to marker. That's why we call it as a material. Okay, so pergi dekat situ, metal resources, kan? Yeah, I'm going to use this simple base color. Okay, of course, you can always change the color, whatever. Okay. For now, we're going to stick with opaque. Okay. We need to have one whole class just to explain what is opaque, what is in metal, and 3D world. Alright. So other than that, it's okay. And yeah, control. Okay. 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 I think mine is limited already. Anybody can access the database? I think this one is the big question. Sorry to say that. Okay, so no problem. But the thing is that sorry. Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. After this, I'm going to show you how to import other 3D assets from outside. Okay, this one is just for demonstration. Okay, once we okay with our creation, of course, okay, we can always test our AR. Okay, how to do that? Okay, so we can try to click right. Okay, so far okay, nothing happened because it needs some cameras. Okay, no problem. Okay, stop. Okay, so this run going to work when we try to incorporate interaction. For now, it's very simple, right? So it's just a marker and then finish. So no interaction. So that camera lah for now. So once we okay with our creation, okay. So next is publish. Okay. Once we okay, try to click the save file and then publish. Okay. Error. Oh, you need to set a category. Okay, previously I set the category as education, remember? Okay, so you can always go to file, project setting. Okay, go to file, project setting, and then this category, create education lah. Animal one, so I click education. Okay, then confirm. Alright, cool. Now, we can open up our phone. Okay. Anybody having problems with publish? Okay. And once the thing is published, you can check with your phones. Yeah, me myself, I can understand. Yeah, okay. This one. So, yeah, I think it's okay, sorry. Okay, so this one yang maka. Bismillah. Okay, so next step, for those of you who haven't installed the app on your mobile phones, you can look for Markup. For Android, you can always look at Google Play. You can try to put the same credential, the one that you put previously. Okay. Satu jadi. Stick over to you. Okay, so you can always look for this simple. Yes. Organize. Get it. Use the same email. Very interesting. Yeah, usually no. I feel you guys try a demonstration. So kalau kita macam gambar boleh. Okay, so maybe we're going to take a little bit like 5 or so. While we doing that, I want you guys to experiment, try to change the marker to something else. Okay? Instead of hero, try with whatever image that you can think of. Right? But the idea is the image must be in JPEG or JPG, right? Right? Okay, I give you another example actually with A. Okay, you can simply add A somewhere and then save and then upload as a marker. So you can use this as a marker as well. Okay. Okay. Sorry, just asking.
So you can, yeah.
Finish this lah. Nanti kita tunjuk macam mana kita nak pakai yang needs reality atau geolocation. Kita boleh buat macam range height. Ada story kan kaki siapa di sini aku dia pakai ya tadi pas ada yang bukan market geolocation pakai sensor okay, so bonus. What if we don't want this boring 3D object, right? So we can always use other resources, but we're going to start with marker resources first. Okay, try to add some other resources. Okay, but beware. The thing is with resources, once you add resources from outside, it's going to pile your spaces up, right? So if you download 3D object, more complex 3D object, maybe that 3D object needs to take like 200 megabytes. So it's already used everything, right? So this is how they make money, because the business model of Markup, they want to showcase the features and whatnot. And of course, if you want to move forward, of course, after that you want to create more complex 3D object. So that hence you need that space, of course. But again, if you are a 3D modeler like myself, you can always create a low polygon 3D model. That will be another class. Yeah. Okay. So, right. So it's always I have a way. Low poly models. You can have a very complex model, but yet the size is smaller. There's a tendency on to that. Okay. Okay. So you want to add another other 3D object. Click add, and then go to these online resources. Okay. The good thing about these online resources, Marker is actually linked with Sketchpad. Okay, as we can know, Sketchpad got a bunch of 3D objects there you can use. Of course, you need to have an account. Of course, if you don't have, you can use Marker resources. Okay, so I'm going to use this simple. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use this rocket lah. So up to you. If you want to use whatever, you can. So but myself, I'm going to use this rocket example. Okay, download this rocket. Of course, you can download more than that. Okay. Okay, download already. And I want to download another one. This box, maybe. Box good. Okay, box. And okay, okay, close the windows. So you notice that the resources page, you can see the resources already downloaded at your marker. So what we can do is that I want to delete this one, this one, this one. I want to exchange those objects with this 3D rocket. Okay, how to delete? Sorry. Okay, how to do that? Okay, like many other applications, you can select first object and then delete from your keyboard. Of course. Or backspace. I don't know backspace. Oh, backspace also can. Okay, backspace or delete. First thing first, you need to select the object and delete. Select the object and then delete. Then you can bring in something new. I'm going to bring in here. Okay, by using this translation tools. Okay, try to move this thing a little bit higher. And then right beside this rocket, I want to put another 3D object, this box. Ada animation again. Okay, okay, good. Okay, so once you're able to do that, and repeat the same process, goes zip files, and then publish. Then you're going to notice the project that you published going to be updated with the new content. Yeah. Yeah.
So now I don't want it anymore.
Okay. Yes. Delete the from the resource lah. Not from here. This one delete from there. After that, on one oh, I can have a case again. Okay, so it is okay. I get it because I do pull some part. Okay, some of us asked if you notice once you download resources into your markup, you can see that it already used some space. Right? See the total, we already use like 5 megabytes. This is what we need to aware of lah. I think the given space is 50 or 500. I'm not sure. We need to check that space. Okay, so once you decided to clear things up, you can delete this object. Okay, click to add the object and try to look for like trash can or something. It's below here. Kat bawah tu. Yung gambar tu sampah. Somewhere here, okay. This here. Let me try delete something. Okay, wrong. Okay, so okay, this rocket and this. Are you sure? Yeah, okay, delete and then the space file size for the resources. Get it smaller lah. Okay. Okay, you can use. Do you have any Gmail? Gmail. Yeah, only I don't really use. of English. This is game. So, really a bit long. Oh yeah, I think the username need to be no space. That's three or something. Oh, sorry. Just so you can the full thing. Okay. Okay, any question? Okay, so as you can see here, it's not just normal 3D object. So for those of us maybe have some experience on using Blender, uh, we can always create simple animation. Yet again, we need to remember once we put some animation into our 3D, the files of that 3D going to be bigger. Because there's technique on to make those things smaller and whatnot. Yeah, whenever we put some details, whatever simple object, the file size of that 3D object going to be bigger, right? So we can try. Okay, let's see. Uh, okay, let's see. Anybody? Can be ideally. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Mostly. Sorry. Okay. select that one. Correct. Okay. Yeah. Share. Okay. So back to the question been asked earlier. What if we want to incorporate more than one marker? All right. So the one that I just demonstrated just now is that we need to upload more than one marker. Okay. So the one that we downloaded earlier is just hero, right? Okay. So how to add another marker into our scene? So first thing first, of course, you need to have whatever picture that you have. Okay. For example, right now I have this E. I'm going to share this E. Going to share the okay. Chatting. You can chat. Of course, you can use other than A also, no problem. For the sake of testing. Okay, share. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Okay, good. So, how to add another marker? Go to image target. Okay, go to image target, and then add target. Okay. In my case, I'm uploading another picture, which is the E one. This E. Okay. Give you E, right? So, but if you want to try other than A, you can always project the picture from the screen. Okay, you have your own screen right now. You can use Google or whatever, and then try to upload the same picture in marker. You can do that. But if you want to use A, you're given this one for testing purposes. Right? So I'm uploading that. Okay. So instead of having one just now, I'm having two markers. Okay, this one is the one that already locked. Okay, this one. So A is available because I already uploaded. So it's not locked yet because it haven't used with any scene. Okay, how to use that? Okay, so if you notice here, the cut outline is below page. Okay, you have scene. Okay, scene. And then there's plus button. Okay, what is scene? Okay, scene is in a game development perspective, it's just like level. Okay, I play level one. Okay, menang, win that level one, I go to level two. level 1 and level 2 is different scene. Understand? So it's different environment. So how can I do that? Is that the one that we did by default, hero one, is actually we're doing it for the untitled one. You can always rename this thing lah. So I'm going to rename this thing as hero page or something. Okay. So rename this thing hero page. So that hero page is going to associate with hero marker. Understand? Right? This hero page, the one that we did by default, okay, actually we're doing this one actually. Okay. Cool. Okay. So next I want to add another scene. Instead of hero, then whenever my camera pointing at another marker, something else is going to appear. So I'm going to add another scene. Okay, clean scene. Okay. In order for us to add another scene, we have to make sure that we need to have more than one marker, right? So if you don't have this, meaning that you haven't uploaded enough marker. So first thing first, if that thing happened, you need to make sure you need to add another target. You can add one more than one, no problem. So how to make this in a sense of interactive book? So you can imagine this target as a page, book pages, first pages, second pages, something like that. Then these pages going to associate with first scene, which I named this thing as a hero page. And I'm going to add another scene and put different marker. Okay? And maybe page number 4, you're going to use similar animation from the first target. So you can use same target for other scene as well. Right? So you get the idea of how to associate the target with the scene. Alright. So assuming everybody already have at least 2 marker or 2 target, okay. So I'm going to add another scene. Okay, and click this one, confirm. And can go. Okay, change the scene. Okay, how to change the scene? So if you go here at the scene, you're going to see this Illuminati eyes. Okay, so click that eyes, going to access to that page. Okay. Okay. So you can rename this page as E page. Okay. Then you can put whatever resources, create the resources to this scene. Okay, so go back to resources. I'm going to add what other 3D. Maybe this dinosaur. This dinosaur. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. And see. Okay. Okay, try to create another sheet. Ah. Yeah, okay, thank you. Jadi kemudian once you publish, so you can actually test. So whenever the camera pointed to this marker, going to associate with that 3D asset. And this marker going to associate with that. Okay, cool. I give you one scenario. What we can actually do with this simple project. For example, this is what we did for IKM dengan Polytechnic, I think somewhere in Pahang. Okay, they use this marker to visualize the engine, right? So they download the engine from Sketchpad and whatnot, or maybe part of that engine part, like carburetor, like radiator, whatnot. So what they did is they upload bunch of markers. So the student going to explore their things with their phone, and they start scanning the marker. Oh, this is something, and then maybe from there, the thing the 3D going to explain something. And of course, we can add audio, we can add a little bit simple animation and whatnot. So we're going to do a little bit of explanation. Once they indulge that information, we can give them another marker. That marker, we intentionally making them to access the quiz, right? So if you notice here, at modules, okay, the free version they're going to give you this quiz modules lah. Okay, okay. The other two is for free version. Because if you want to explore, okay. So this is what I try to say. You can associate this module with that particular marker or target, right? So you have bunch of this is page 1, page 2, page 3, then probably page number 10 with certain or very specific marker. Whenever the student point the camera to that particular marker, the quiz going to appear, something like that, right? So how can we do that? So since we already have two seats, okay, this one, and then this guy already learned something about ops and whatnot. So whenever the student or the user stumble with this marker, they're going to open up the quiz like that, right? Okay, so how to do that? You want sometimes some 5 minutes or so? Can I continue? Proceed?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Check. So fun. So fun. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, assuming right now that we already know how to put a very simple marker and default scene, and then whatever 3D object on top of that marker going to be appeared, right? Good. So, same thing we can do for interactivity or interactions. So my suggestion is that we need to put that interaction at other scenes lah. So it's not everything is not cluttered. Everything is very specific to certain marker. Okay, so given to you this A marker, of course you can use other than this. Okay, so first thing first, you need to upload marker. Once you have more than one marker, and you able to create another scene. Okay, create scene. So if you have marker that haven't been used, you can select that. Okay, so I already did that. So I already have two scenes. Okay, this particular scene. Okay, I'm going to put simple button here. Right. So I go to resources. Then I go back, to path, okay, okay, default, and then try to 2D object. Last time is 3D, right? It's 2D. So 2D is just a whatever object, whatever button or whatnot, you can use that. So I'm going to use play button. Okay, I'm going to use this play button. Right? Something like that. Okay, I'm going to resize it this thing accordingly. Something like that. Again, this 2D object we can create on your own using Photoshop, Illustrator, or whatever you can download from Canva. Also, yes, no problem. As long the format is, I believe, PNG. Okay, PNG for the 2D object, JPEG for the marker. Okay, got it? Right? So JPEG is for the marker, PNG is for the whatever object. Why PNG? Because PNG able you to have this a transparent background, right? That's why we use PNG. Good. Okay, good. So once we have that, I want to add this quiz module, right? So go to this module, drag this quiz to the scene. Okay, so what I want to do is that I want it to trigger by click the object. So going to ask you what object. So the one that I already put inside the scene is that play button object. So the idea is whenever I click that play button, it's going to execute it. Set, right? So okay, play button control. Cool. All right. Okay. Okay. So let's test the thing. Click right. Here, click this play button. Click there. Right. Okay. Okay, no problem. So click this quiz. Once you click the quiz module here, it's going to open another properties here. Okay. So how to put our own quiz? Okay, you can click this. Okay. Let me check. Okay, I repeat again. Okay, click at this quiz, right? And then click edit. Okay, click quiz, click edit. Once you click this edit, you're going to have these two things here. Okay, got this one here called question. This one is called arrangement. Okay, how to understand this? This question is we as a lecturer, like question bank lah. Okay, we have bunch of question here. Then once we have bunch of question, we can actually arrange which question to go first. Okay, if we don't want to do that, also get we can put another button. If I'm going to demonstrate after this, you can randomize whatever question you have here. So let's try to create one or two questions first. So we're going to create one question first. Okay, click question. Sorry, this in Chinese. Okay. Maybe translate. I'm sorry.
Okay, this one is theme title or
Yeah.
theme sort. This one no. This one is a single choice. This one multiple choice. Yes. This one you enter. I think. I don't know. It's add in something. Yeah.
Yes.
Add in. Yes. This one is display. Display the marks.
Yeah. The marks here.
Yeah, this one no mark. Yes.
This is the timer.
Yeah, no mark. Yeah. This one timer. This is timer. This one is item.
Yeah.
Yeah, you add item. Yes. This one choice of item. Choice of item. Yeah.
Okay, we can try to create. And the previous version that I downloaded last time was it's in English. I'm not sure whether we can change this preferences. User sorry, it's in English. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, because okay, no problem. Okay, go back, edit. Okay, let's do something. Let's do something. Okay, why I'm saying this, the quiz module is actually being developed like third party, I can say. It's an plugins and addition features. The thing is, for me, if I want to create my own quiz, I'm going to use programming. But I'm not sure whether we have the time to demonstrate the simple programming or whatnot. But for now, I think we can try to play around with the quiz modules. Let's see if the things work. But last time it works, no problem. So scene one. Okay, this I leave it be. Okay, so okay, if you can see here, if I add this is actually the multiple choice things. Okay, and previously just one, right? You can add several. Okay, this is the question. I can add text. Okay. Okay. Follow. Okay. So I say what was shown earlier. Okay, that is the question. Okay. And then I click here. Okay, I see elephant. Okay, and I add another one. Say fox. Okay, and the third one is I say maybe dog. Okay, good. Something like that. Scientific is outline first. Okay, so if you notice, there are this radio button, object button. This determine which is the correct answer. So mine is the second one. So I click that now. Okay. That's right. Okay. And you can actually put some background for the question by playing around with the same. Okay. Temporary, give background color. Okay. Then change the color. This one, then change something else. Okay. Change something else. It's something else. Oh. Okay. Of course, you can play around with the pictures here. Okay. Play around whenever you have that. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Okay. So try to design something. Okay. Once you create your question, you can always add to the arrangement. Okay. For now, we only have one question. Select that question. Okay. Then click add. So you're going to add that particular question to the first arrangement. Yes. Okay. You can always edit that. Okay. Okay. Once you create one question, this is how I do. I did my multiple question. I just create one, then I copy the first question again and again and again, and then I edit something inside the question up. So how to do that? Okay, this scene one, right click, copy. Oops. Oops. Yes. So, it's on Google. Okay, yes. Oh, copy. You can divide it. Add a few dots there. Then you can copy and we buat lagi lah. Okay, try and error. Yeah, of course, once you copy and paste, you can always access that particular question. Yeah, you did this first. Okay, you can start change whatever inside. What color does it take for that? And you can change blue. Something. Yellow. Okay. So instead of doing it again and again, and actually create one template, then you can copy and paste. Okay. So I want to rename this thing as question number 1. Question 1. I'm going to name this thing as question 2. So select this question 2, view, and I'm going to add to the second arrangement. F. Atau teknik akses cuma itu establish QR code. So QR code itu kalau dia pastikan orang tu belum so kalau kita habis tu dia akan akses. Okay, let's test. Okay, once you decided, okay, this is the quiz and okay. Yeah, I have having to question right now. Okay, so kita cuba test this. Okay. Check. So we need to publish and then test. Okay, because we start of setting. Okay, let's save and then publish. Okay, and okay, so what we have right now is we have 2 markers. Okay, the first marker used as place that we can visualize our 3D object in vision, right? And then we're going to use another marker, okay, to execute our question, our quiz. So by right, if you already published, if the camera detect this, okay, in my case, it's going to visualize the 3D object. And when the camera detect this image, it's going to appear display, and then you need to click at that play button. Then you can have access to the quiz. I believe they have this sound and music, something very small sound. Okay, that's right. Okay, so the next step. Okay. Okay, remember, if we want to play with the quiz, okay, can always click at the quiz and then edit. Okay, then we're going to have these features appear. Okay, if you don't do that, you cannot have that features appear. And again, remember, this is something like question bank. Once you created the question, as long you add the question at the arrangement, then the question going to be appear. If you don't put at the arrangement, doesn't appear, right? So how it works, create the question first, select, and then add in the arrangement. That's the process. Anybody can share? Yeah, we had one successfully published quiz. Actually, they will have some sound, right? Some. Uh, say, search. Okay, so yeah, especially that's which slide. So I recall a bit, try to translate using the translate here. Okay, so this button, if you notice here, this button, okay, this one, okay, you can add this thing as a, I mean, like to finish or to end up the session, right? Okay. Okay, something like this. Yeah.
That's why it's something like none.
None, right? So
Yeah,
we can close the quiz lah, something like that. So you can start to go somewhere else. So I use this as a method to end up the session. So instead of like going through the next question, next question, so you can always end up to the none, something like that, right? Okay. So, but again, this quiz, this module is actually, like I said previously, is an additional plugin, additional library. What I did personally, I use custom programming for this kind of quiz. Again, of course, that one we need to have a little bit more time to work with programming. It's not that difficult actually, not that difficult. But again, I really encourage all of you to explore that programming part. Okay, how can we look at that programming part? Why can we look at that programming part? Okay, so let me delete this first. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to touch on this programming today, of course, because we need another full session for this. But we can explore by using this. Okay, for example, we put one resources path for 3D. Okay, let me put the simple cube here. Okay. Okay. So this simple cube can be interacted with simple scripting or programming. In order for us to do that, this object must enable its logic. Okay? For example, you want to make this cube as a button. Click this, something happen. You want to make this object interactable, all right? Interactive. So first thing first, before you even jump to whatever programming you want to do after that, you have to make sure this object is logic. Okay, so I just leave it like this so you can explore later on. Because last time when I want to explore the programming side is the programming itself is not that difficult, but I really had the hardship where to start the programming. So the simple thing that I really miss at that time is just forget to enable the logic. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to jump into this programming, the tutorial is out there. And even if you already play with Scratch before, yeah, Scratch for kids creating game, okay? The programming, the analogy, the paradigm is pretty much the same. It's like drag and drop. I'm going to show you. So, click at that object and then make sure you click this logic. Okay, meaning this object can be programmed. This object can be script. Okay, something like that. So, how to access that? Go to this logic. Okay. So, for example, check action. example. I give you one example. You can explore afterward. I want whenever I click that cube, something happens. So I try to drag this event in event. Okay. So how to read this? Very simple. When I this cube is clicked, what going to happen after that? So I'm going to make sure that okay, maybe I'm going to make the cube bigger. Scale, okay. Going to make the scale bigger. So let's set like that. Okay. How big? 45 bits, for example. Okay. So okay, good. So how to test that? Then we can use the run. Okay. Close this thing. So click run. Click this. So it's bigger. Actually, it's quite bigger. It's very simple, very straightforward. Okay, I try to read it back again. Okay. Give you another example. Okay. So I delete. How to delete this coding? If you ever have experience using Scratch before, just drag this thing to this Scratch panel. Scratch. Okay. Clear the okay, in fact, I think we can use some little times to explore together if you want. Right? Okay, let's do that. Okay, so for example, okay, I want to clear this quiz, or maybe I'm going to do with hero. Okay, I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to put my dinosaur here. Alright, good. So the idea is whenever I click at the dinosaur, something happens. Okay. So first thing first, what we need to do with the object? Okay. We need to make sure the object is logicable with that word. Okay. So click at this 3D and make sure our logic is enabled. It is the first step, the very, very first step. Okay. Okay. Click at this logic. Okay. So meaning this object is accessible in the programming side. Okay. So click at this and then we can start coding. Go to this logic. Okay, good. Okay. So just simple explanation. In programming, we're going to have this bunch of function, I can say, or method. Okay. Usually, if we want to trigger something, if we want to create interaction, usually we start with event. Okay, in programming we call it as a function, event trigger, event play, event something. So in Maka, how can we start with the programming? For me personally, I start with event. So I'm going to click event. Okay. And then in this marker, they give you very simple event. Event if something is clicked. Event if something is colliding. So we're not using this one. We're going to use this very simple one. Click. Okay. So I'm going to drag this click. Okay. So if you notice here, the dinosaur is already been selected for you because that is the only object that available in the scene. Of course, if you have multiple objects, you need to decide which object that you want to click. Okay, for example, this is the dinosaur object names. So whenever I click at that dinosaur, something happens. So what to do? So we can do something like this. We're going to transform, meaning we're going to change the parameter of that object. Maybe we want to make it moving from left to right, we want to make it bigger, we want to rotate to something, that is transform. Okay, so click at the transform. Okay, so I'm going to use this simple turn clockwise or something, right? And something like that. Okay, so how to read this? When the dinosaur is being clicked, the dinosaur going to turn clockwise to 45 degrees in maybe 5 seconds. I just want to change that. So something like that. Alright? Okay, let's try that. Okay, close this thing and then run. Okay, once you run, try to click at the dinosaur. Okay, the dinosaur is rotating at 45 degrees in 5 seconds. And then of course you can make it more complex. Whenever it turns, you're going to play some sound if we have sound, right? Let's check. Okay, so stop, logic. I'm going to play some sound. There is the sound. Okay, play sound. Okay. Okay, since we don't have any sound, so we need to add some sound to our resource. Okay, let's try that. Okay, add. Okay, and then add audio or online resource, but don't have any sound. Add audio. Okay, if you have any sound MP3 or whatnot, you can try that. I'm going to put some sound here. Let's try. Oh, I got musik sample. Saya orang bukan, boleh lah. Okay. Okay. Okay, maybe I share the files, the chat box, you can play around with the things. Try first. Okay. So once the files is inside the resource, we can always access in the coding. So let's check if we get it or not. See. Oh, another task. Then of course you need to make it as a logic. Okay. And then logic. Betul. Baru ada. Okay, let's try. Right. Okay. Okay, so let's okay. Let me share that file so you can play around with the things. Okay, I play music samples. Okay, you can check at the chat box. Okay, and then correct sound here. Okay, let's play with the audio. Okay. Again, this logic is not meant to be for today, but I just want to share how to get started with the programming features in Matra. You don't have to have like specific class for that. There are a bunch of tutorials out there, but usually it's very difficult to start with programming if you don't know side, right? So the idea of using the string, we just have to make sure that the object is logic. Okay? Yeah, yes. Yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. All right. The idea of marker, uh, I think this feature is just came, I think like 2 or 3 years back. Okay, so not really new, but it's come after the original marker. Usually, what we did with marker last time is just very simple marker base and then something appeared. And they really incorporate this how you can embed interactivity with markup by using this logic. So to answer the question is this logic is for me, I think my personal opinion, they're quite early on, it's very early in the markup world. But I can say in comparison with 2 or 3 years back, I think for simple projects, more than enough, I think, right? To create very simple interaction and then to create something very fast prototyping. I think with a logic, it's more than enough. That's why for me, if I want to create a simple VR project, definitely going to use markup because I know that I can create that prototype within 15 minutes, within 20 minutes, right? Just to make sure the idea is delivered to the user. So I use markup. Then when I want to create something more complex, something more than what markup can offer, I'm going to go back to the Unreal Engine and Unity. So for me personally, I definitely not going to use Unreal or Unity just to create very simple marker FDA 3D object. In fact, it's crazy because to publish Unreal or Unity, usually just very plain Unreal project, the file size for that project is usually 2 to 3 gigabyte. It's very big. Of course, there's a way to make it smaller, but again, it's more work. We have to think all this strategy and whatnot. So for me, if I just want to to demonstrate this AR, this simple marker base and whatnot, definitely I'm going to use marker. So of course, knowing the limitation of whatever software is good. So we can always maximize whatever feature that they offer. And then whenever it's limited, then maybe we can try to look some other alternative, right? Yes, that's right. Okay. Okay. So we actually already covered pretty much the fundamental of augmented reality marker base. All right. So after this, I just want to demonstrate again and again. Not really like asking you to follow me one by one because the time limit and whatnot. So I just want to demonstrate other features that have in markup, right? So hopefully that we already understand if we talk about augmented reality, there is a marker base. When we talk about marker base, it needs some reference. It needs some target so that the object or the 3D object can be overlaid. That is marker base. So what is marker base? Okay. So okay, need to take a look. Or we have any questions regarding the marker base? Only we have a very good understanding, right? On what is marker base, what is markerless. So right now I want to demonstrate what is considered as markerless. Okay. Then go back. Okay, how to go back? You go click here and then go back home. Okay, confirm. Okay. Okay, so we can go back here and then go to project overview. So you notice when you open your project, you've already published 1/2. Alright? So what if you have multiple objects or multiple projects? So you can always play around with this number because if you subtract, they're going to give you like 20 something. For anybody else got more than two? Okay, so that is the advantage of become the new user. So mine is like already 15 years, so they will give me any chance. They give me only two. Okay, so but believe me, that they're going to limit those things up until 6 months from this stage. Okay, so while you have the privilege, you can always maximize that, lah, right? Or maybe if you want to create new project, you can always create new email. But yeah, I think that also works. Okay. Okay. So, what if you want to make use of this number? We can always unpublish this thing. Okay. So go to the edit. Then you see this three button or three dot or something. You can go unpublish. Okay, unpublished means that the project is archived in the cloud, in your account. You can always publish that. But again, you need to remember, it's going to take some space, lah, right? One project will take some space. So, what if you want to archive this thing on your pen drive? You can always do that. Okay, you can export. You can export to whatever, so save that export to your own archive, your own USB drive. Okay? If you already taken up all the spaces after many months or after many years. Okay? This is one way. Good. Okay. So again, when we want to create new projects, in G. Okay, so this one you don't have to follow. I just want to demonstrate. You can play around with the other templates and markup given to us. For example, like virtual reality. Okay, maybe like simple VR or something. Okay, VR walkthrough or fly through. Okay, then category architecture. Okay, okay, I have anybody have any experience with 360 camera? The most popular one is Insta360. I think around 1,600 ringgit or something. Okay, so if you have that, I forgot to bring that device. That camera able to create a panoramic file, meaning the files is in a spherical form. So you can take that file and then bring into this markup. So you can create your own how should I say, also fly-through application, right? Free. Last time you need to use Metapod. Okay, Metapod is like, I think, a subscription base. Very nowadays it's quite expensive. Okay, so one alternative of creating fly-through or through 360 experience, you can use markup. Okay, again, 360 content is not really a VR content. Okay, for example, what they did is they have a 360 content, so the user is standing at the center of the content. So whenever you turn your head and whatnot, you're going to situated at the center. Okay. So meaning if you ducking, you moving forward, you turn and whatnot, doesn't affect the position of that user. That's why I'm saying 360 word or 360 content is not really a full immersive VR. It's just a 360 image. So you inside the thing, you can look around. And some application like architectural, maybe like perumahan and whatnot. In what do I say, perumahan, uh, housing, property industry, sorry, property industry. They use this technology to showcase their houses. Okay, and from my experience, what they did is they take bunch of 360 pictures. Their services itself can offer to clients up to 2,000 and 3,000 USD. The process is very simple, straightforward. And one of the popular software at that time, up until right now, is Metapod. So Metapod, you need to buy some, you need to subtract to some amount of money, but in return, I think it's quite justifiable, right? So, but if you want to get into that kind of industries, having this 360 camera, and always use Marka as an alternative, right? And I like about Marka itself because it opened up to the activity, and Metapod is very limited of, right? So that's one thing. So if you want to talk about VR, VR usually going to detect 6 DOM, 6 degree of freedom, meaning 3 degree of freedom covering rotation of X, Y, and Z. Another 3 is the location of that person. If I'm moving forward, you're going to follow moving forward. If I ducking, you're going to duck. Then 6OF is what means by full VR. And this is from my understanding throughout many years of with this kind of industry. Because I open this thing up, you can actually, for those who haven't experienced with VR before, you can try this thing, and then you can try to create 3D or VR content with markup, and then try to publish with your phone, and then try to put the phone in with this device. You can see the difference of experience. Okay, this is 3DOF, just working with the your phone's accelerometer, which is the rotation. But this one going to work with 6DOF, location and position. So this is more immersive. This is more engaging. This one. So if you want to create training for engineering, want to create a training for medical, this is the technology I think that you need to go over. And then me myself, I teach virtual reality, extended reality as a subject in the UTeM. So we actually already teach this thing up because there's no use, because there's no practical. I think use. This is my opinion because instead of you just develop for this kind of application, it is already covered with this one. Last time we introduced our student with 3UF because this is too expensive. So Oculus, I think this the used market, I think you can get like 600 ringgit, 500 ringgit. So I think it's more accessible than before. Okay. So this is another way of get into VR technology lah. Okay, and then of course you can use markup to create VR technology, which is not really VR. It's just like 3UF VR. Okay, and then last but not least, you can play around with augmented reality. Okay, by using this mixed reality and then enable GPS. Okay, this is what I mentioned earlier. Okay, this GPS, you're going to pinpoint the GPS, the location of whenever the user with the phone reach at that point of location, it's going to appear that the content. So as if it is like image reality lah. So it also achievable with markup. So don't limit yourself with this one simple template. You can always play around with other template. And of course, you can publish and unpublish with the projects. Right? So I think hopefully we gain something, if not maybe little, maybe you can share to other people as well with this marker as production for Experiential. Okay, I said, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nazreen. And since we are running out of time, so we have also run the interactive session. Perhaps we want to have a photo session, a quick photo session. Okay. The online users, if possible, that you switch on your camera for a quick photo session. Okay, maybe you can. Okay. Apa campus ada? Okay.